Greetings, Grand Elevation family. This is Francesca Abbey. It's been a while since I've made a video and uploaded anything to YouTube. So I wrote this piece. It's not actually a poem, it's just something that I needed to get out of me and share with you. It's titled, They're Going Backwards, We're Going Forwards. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think. They cannot psychologically unring the proverbial bell of freedom that we've already heard ring and have already ingested and processed. That bell rang 160 years ago in 1865 at 963 hertz frequency, and it is still vibrating and resonating within our DNA and intensifying to an even higher frequency in us today. Those low vibrational, non-melanated, hate-filled replicants who want to take us back to their concept of time, to their days of segregation, back to their Jim Crow, perhaps back to slavery, and even perhaps back to the days before our existence, by way of the annihilation of our race. They're in for a rude awakening. That would surely mean their own demise as well, since it is well documented that we existed long before them. They want to regress, they want us to regress backwards with them. Many of them have already regressed themselves back to their lowest vibrational, animalistic, Homo Neanderthal nature anyway. Let them continue to regress all the way back to their Ice Age, cave-dwelling, Dryopithecus existence while we continue to progress forward towards a higher vibrational level of consciousness. Yes, how do they propose to regress a whole multi-generational nation of primarily progressive and forward-thinking people who only know progress? How can they uneducate the already educated? How do they plan to disarm and disempower a people who are already empowered and fully armed with knowledge of self, our story, our culture, our capabilities, survival skills, fearlessness, courage to fight, strategy to win, the wisdom of our ancestors, and our revered and respected Iku, the deceased heroic leaders, the 7 African powers, and the 7 principles of Ma'at, truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, order, balance, and reciprocity, and an Anunnaki level of consciousness and enlightenment. How? What is their strategy to colonize a whole multi-generational nation of primarily progressive, forward-thinking people, many of whom are already armed and empowered with the spiritual knowledge, skills, and power to raise up and crush not only their very souls, but also the souls of their wicked ancestors? Their plan? How are they planning to implement and accomplish their project? Are they planning to separate us from themselves so they can utilize biochemical warfare through our air supply, water supply, or food supply? Or does their strategy involve the contamination of a combination, or does their strategy involve the continuation of a combination of gentrification, segregation, incarceration, miseducation, starvation, medication, calcification, or depopulation through castration and radiation, or vaccinations? Let's find out, shall we? What is our plan? First of all, many of us have already awakened to the realization that the opposition is coming at us on a political and economical front. However, the war we see in front of us is not a war between the political or economical differences of mortal human beings. This is a cultural war, and more so, a spiritual war between wicked demons against enlightened ones that is being fought on a spiritual plane. Does the opposition think that we're scared? Do they believe we're weak? Do they assume we're asleep? Are they convinced that they can kill us? Don't they know that we're divine, ethereal, Sirius B star seeds? Don't they know that we're divine spirits having a temporary physical experience in the superficial vehicles they see us in, our black skin? Who cannot be killed and cannot die. Our electromagnetic energy just transforms and reincarnates stronger. They're relying upon their own misconceptions that we don't remember who we are and what we're made of, what kind of fight we have within us. We must remember that we possess and can weaponize our innate knowledge of the oldest sacred science and forces of nature of our traditional indigenous West African spiritual systems. We must think back to the victories of the Haitian Revolution, the successful slave revolts against colonial rule that spanned from 1791 to 1804. We can channel, organize, and mobilize the victorious Iku, the deceased warrior spirits of fearless leaders such as Duty, Boukman, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Toussaint Louverture, and Henry Christophe, as well as our female warriors of the Haitian Revolution such as Victoria Montu, aka Grand Toya, Marie-Jeanne Lamartiniere, Lieutenant Susan Sanite, Belair, and Cecile Fatiman, to name a few. One of our indigenous West African spiritual systems, Vodou, played a vital and significant role in the victories in the Haitian Revolution. Vodou leaders, often priests and priestesses, invoked and united various spirits with rebel factions to fight side by side Many Haitian Vodou leaders called upon Vodou spirits to guide and protect them as they took up arms in resistance. Vodou leaders our Vodou leaders that we have today need to do the same. You see, these folks that are doing what they're doing today, I ain't mentioning no names, but you know who I'm talking about. Their weak-ass, watered-down version of witchcraft has got nothing up against what we have. It's true, they're not like us, and we're certainly nothing like them. We have ourselves. In addition to our external resources, the very forces of nature inside each and every one of us, we possess everything we need to survive, strive, and flourish through whatever may come our way. In fact, we have more now than our forefathers had when they were hit with a lot worse, with a lot less forewarning. We have forewarning. Our ancestors did not. We have time to prepare for the inevitable. Our ancestors did not. We have funds and resources. Our ancestors did not. We can plan and prepare for whatever could possibly come our way. Our ancestors could not. If our ancestors back then had the knowledge and the resources that we have today, our story would have been written differently. Our decalcified, enhanced, and activated pineal gland, our first eye, alone can be weaponized through encoding thought into visualization, articulated into spoken word, and manifested and materialized into reality. Our ancestors, we have our ancestors. We not only have our ancestors, we are our ancestors. We are the highest versions of our ancestors who dwell within us. Our numerous army of powerful, respected, ancient ancestral warriors who were murdered at the hands of their wicked ancestrals of the ancestors of the wicked. They remember. They love us. They are angry at the past as well as the current events. They are armed with vengeance and have been long awaiting their marching orders and are ready to fight. They are being resurrected to fight alongside of us, their descendants, to protect us and to protect our future generations. We have our deities, the very aspects and elements of the Almighty Most High Creator, the Great Spirit, the oldest sacred science and forces of nature of our traditional West African spiritual systems, in addition to our empowered selves and our powerful ancient warrior ancestors. Many of us also have the attention of our very powerful deities, Neters, Loas, Bosun, Orishas, who have a vested interest in our salvation. Our strategy: unification, synchronization, motivation, decalcification, incantation, higher vibration, concentration, manifestation, mobilization towards liberation and the rebuilding of our Alkebulan nation. So in short, as my indigenous continental West African sisters and brothers would say, we go deal with them all. They go collect woto, meaning you gonna get a serious beat down. Thank you. This next piece I would like to share with you. I've shared with you in the past, but I'd like to share it with you one more time. And it is titled, "The Revolution Will Be Fought and Won on High." I think it's time to read this again. The revolution will be fought and won on high. I say, the revolution will be fought and won on high. Gil Scott-Heron got it right when he said the revolution will not be televised. It won't. Yeah, the revolution will also not be on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. The last poets warned us that when the revolution comes, there will be no commercials. That's right. And there will be no emails, posts, or instant messages either. You will not be able to click like, comment, or share, because cats, conscious, African, telepathic star seeds, will put down their smartphones, Blackberries, iPads, and laptops and pick up on their real iPads. Intuitive, psychic, astrophysic, divineness. Because the revolution will be fought and won on high. The revolution will be fought and won on high. I say the revolution will be fought and won on high. The Voduns, the Eguns, and the Orishas will take the place of guns, rifles, and grenades. Black cultural centers will become African spiritual resurrection temples of Vodun, Orisha, Egun, and the Iku, the deceased, resurrecting all the victims of lynchings from day one to rise and fight alongside the living beings and non-living deities. Elegba, Obatala, Orunla, Shango, Ogun, Oshun, Yamaya will wield their 7 African powers, destroying and eradicating every nasty, evil, privileged, pedophilic, hateful, racist, Confederate flag-waving, undercover, KKK, hood-wearing demonic spirit in their path, living and dead, as well as their spiritual seeds, so they can grow no more. Even the Uncle Tom and bucking, backbiting, stepping, fetching Oreo cookie Afro coons gonna be running for their miserable fake-ass lives instead of running for political office, cause the revolution will not be fought in the White House between democratics and reptilian replicants in Congress, cause the revolution will be fought and won on high. The revolution will be fought and won on high. I say the revolution will be fought and won on high. Astral projection, levitation, multi-location will be our primary sources of transportation. Mental telepathy will be our primary sources of communication. Remote viewing and divination will be our primary sources of gathering information. Telekinesis, psychokinesis, and apportation, the ability to manipulate objects by the power of thought, will be our primary sources of materialization, disappearance, and teleportation of people, places, and things. Through pyrokinesis, we will manipulate fire to light every with our minds to light every spiritual candle and every sage smudge simultaneously throughout the omniverse. Psychic surgeons will replace field medics, and energy medicine will replace field hospitals. Vegetation will replace medication to heal, replenish, and sustain us through our revolutionary mission, which is, has always been, and will always be reparations for centuries of slave labor, repatriation to our motherland, and restoration of our land, our resources, our power, and our dignity to our alkebulan greatness, so we can achieve the total realization of an all-black and united Africa, geopolitically conscious, economically independent, and militarily secure, because the revolution will be fought and won on high. However, there's no revolution without evolution. How can we win a revolution without our own evolution? We can only win a revolution with global African evolution. So evolve, African people, evolve. Upgrade yourselves. You upgrade your cars, you upgrade your phones. Upgrade yourselves. You upgrade your TV service. But your cars, phones, and TV is not going to win a revolution for you. It's you that needs to be upgraded. We can only win a revolution with global African evolution. So evolve, African people, evolve. And that's it. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed delivering it. I know, well, some of you may remember me as a drummer, but I'm also a poet. I also paint. I do many things. So this is one of those times when it's time to get from in front of the easel, can't talk today, and it's time to get up from behind the drum and speak my mind. And I am a drum. I'm a drummer, but I'm also a drum. And I'm delivering this message to all those who have ears to hear. I hope it's received well. Thank you. Francesca Abbey, signing out.